Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's so great to see you all. My name is Danielle Barnes, and this is my co-founder, Candace Digby, and we are co-founders of Austin Design Week. We are so thrilled to welcome you to the 6th annual festival. So thank you all so much for being here. If this is your first event, I want to make sure that you know what we're all about. Austin Design Week is committed to bringing together designers from across disciplines, architects and graphic designers and service designers and fashion designers, to be able to learn from one another and share their work and their ideas. And just as importantly, if not even more important, is to invite the rest of the Austin community in to experience how design impacts their day-to-day life and to be part of the conversation. And so whether you're a designer or studying design or new to design, we welcome all of you and thank you for being here. We have a really exciting week this week. So we have 80 different events happening. They're in person, they're online. You should come by and check out the Hub, which is on the backside of City Hall downtown. We're having events all day tomorrow. We have snacks, we have beverages. You can come and hang out and work. And then on Friday, we're doing a futurist fair to bring together some of our partners, some great companies, some organizations that are supporting creatives throughout the year in Austin, so you can figure out how to get involved and meet one another, because Austin Design Week is really about community and coming together.
And we are so excited to be together in person with you all again. We are also offering virtual programming, but it's really great to see your faces and be here. I just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, Zebra and PayPal, that are our top level sponsors this year, and we could not do it without them. I also want to give a shout out to Tito's and Austin Beer Works and Big Swig that are filling your cups right now and tasting really delicious and keeping you cool. And also to the School of Design and Creative Technologies here at UT. This is all their work that they put together. This was their vision. The students have been working on these projects. I'm going to let them talk more about that, but kind of the lead for the vision for the school is really who we like to call our Austin Design Fairy Godmother. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Doreen Lorenzo to the stage right now.
Thank you, ladies. So on Facebook, which I don't really use too much anymore for obvious reasons, but a memory came up 5 years ago. I gave an opening talk at the first Austin Design Week, and it was a little bit about the history of Austin design, because I'm an old fairy godmother, and I've been at this for a long time in Austin, so it's very exciting to see how this has come to be. One of our goals was to create a hub here at the College of Fine Arts for design and creative technology. So we could be turning out the next generation of designers and creative technologists into the market. And I think by looking around, you can say, I think we're doing it, right? I think we're doing it. So it takes a village to get this done. So you gotta just bear with me and let me just quickly thank a bunch of people, because this was a labor of love. First of all, thank you all the students. It was 6 classes that worked tirelessly on this to get this done. So I'm just going to go down the list really fast. Nada Dorman, Matt Smith, M.K. Haley, Kyle Evans, Bill Burns, Jedediah Rowe, Cameron Weed, Stephen Hansen, Kendall Harden, Krista Ramirez, Jeff Grapko, Bob Bursey, Henry Smith, David Cohen, and again, all the students and the COFA team. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for coming to the UT campus and helping us kind of see and support our students. And we couldn't do that without a very important person in our life, which is the Dean of the College of Fine Arts. Ramona Rivera is fairly new to the college, but he's got a wonderful vision for where he thinks design and technology can play in Austin, and I want to introduce him. And most importantly, he's going to talk a little bit about the person who made this all possible for us, which is Nelda Bachmann and Nelda and Carl Buchman, but we're going to talk a little bit more, and you'll get to hear from Nelda in a minute.
Thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you, everyone. It's great to open the doors of the college. I'm only 4 months in the job. I graduated from the college a few years ago, close to 20 now, and I can say that this is not the same college that I was where I was a student. I'm very excited that this college has been in many ways transformed by the future thinking of the School of Design and Creative Technologies. The deck to the Performing Arts Center has never looked this good and has never been so inventively activated. So I am excited to be in town. I'm excited to be leading the college, to getting to know the immense culture around design and technology that is bursting at the seams of this city. Really looking forward to continue fostering partnerships with industry and all of the wonderful students that we're sending out. You know, if you want to hire some really talented, creative, innovative go-getters, look nowhere else than the College of Fine Arts here at UT Austin. I want to thank the team at SDTC. We have the best, most creative chairs of the department, Kate Canales and Michael Baker. We have an amazing visionary in Doreen Lorenzo, who's helping us coordinate and imagine the future of the school and grow it. And most importantly, I really want to thank our funder tonight, our supporter, another visionary that has just joined the family and is starting to really bet on the practices of our students and the work that we do in our laboratories, and that is Nelda Bachmann. So Nelda, thank you so much for sponsoring tonight and for launching Austin Design Week from here, from the College of Fine Arts.
So with that, I want to introduce Nelda Buchman, and she has you can go to her website, nelda.com. Nelda is an enormous supporter of the arts, and I have to say, I have the most fun in our meetings with Nelda. Michael Baker and Kate Canales we always say, like, can we just talk to Nelda and Carl, because her vision for the future is inspiring. So Nelda, thank you. Come up and say a few words, and really everybody, when you see Nelda, say thank you.
Well, welcome to the launch of Austin Design Week 2021. Is this crazy? This is so wonderful. You know, I am Nelda Buchman, and I just can't tell you how delighted I am to be sponsor and really just here for opening night reception. Just to see everything the students have done has been amazing. My husband Carl and I are amazing supporters. Well, you know, we just cannot believe what you guys are doing. We just are supporters of the School of Design and Creative Technology. And so it's just wonderful to be here to see the educational space for our creatives coming up in the next generation. So I just want to take just a moment to say thank you. It's as much of a joy for me as it is for you, for me to be a part of it. And guys, it's just, this is the future, is it not? And it's amazing to see it. So thank you very much.
Well, now I'd like to introduce someone that I met as we were starting this school. And somebody said, well, you should talk to this guy, Jake Dunnigan. Okay, I talk to everybody. As you all know, you probably know that about me. So we had lunch, and I literally could not eat my food. I was so enamored by everything he said. I just looked at him, I went, I don't know what you're going to teach, but you have to teach here. And he said, okay. So it was wonderful. So as you can see, the theme this week for Austin Design Week is the future. And there is no one better to talk about that than Jake Dunnigan, who is really an amazing futurist. So Jake, come on up, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Doreen. Hey, everybody. It's a little bit of it would always be weird to do something like this, but it's a little weirder after COVID. I don't know where I am. So I'm not sure what I'm going to say, really. My neural implant failed, so I had to write some handwritten notes. But I could not be happier to be here. I'm so happy to be a small part of this program in this community and watch it grow over the years. So I'm based in Austin. I'm a futurist. I work at a place called the Institute for the Future. That's my day job. Yes, it checks out. You can Google it. It's a real thing. And, you know, I wanted to just tell you a little bit about my experience, some of the weirdness of doing futures work. I know you all are designers or interested in design. You're thinking about the future. You're making the future in many ways. But I kind of want to give you, if not by the letter of the word, a sense of the vibe of the challenge, of the weirdness, of the riddles, of the enigma of doing futures. So a few, we'll call it 3 riddles of the future that we're all trying to navigate. The first is that the future doesn't exist. It's always a projection from the present. It's always something out there. And yet, everything we do impacts the future. So that's already a weird conundrum, right? This thing is always out in front of us. It's always something that's a projection from us, but everything we do, from small to large, has an impact on the future. So we're always wrestling with that. And where's our point of changing things? And I think design and thinking about it carefully is a big part of that. Okay, that was number 1. Future doesn't exist, but everything we do impacts the future. Okay, weird enough. The second one, everything we do affects the future, but we can never be certain whether it's going to have a long-term positive or negative impact. We can do the best we can have our intentions, but things happen that we don't know in a complex world. And so even with all of the care and preparation that we have, we're going to have an effect on the future. We just don't know long-term whether that's going to turn out great or terrible. We can all think of any examples we want, but one from not too far from where I grew up in Alabama, if you can believe it. A futurist from Alabama, yes, another weird riddle. Maybe that's why I'm tired of looking backwards. But there's a place called Enterprise, Alabama, and they have one of these old Greek-looking, very formalized statues, and on a woman, it's one of these sort of, typical kind of robed woman holding a boll weevil, which I don't know if you've seen it. It looks like a little bug, right? And it's giant, So they have a monument to the boll weevil in Enterprise, Alabama. I don't recommend visiting it, but you can look at pictures. But the reason they have it is because the boll weevil wiped out the cotton crops in the area. And so they had, on the verge of collapse, all the farmers had to plant other crops, and they ended up diversifying and being very prosperous later because they had to, or they were forced to diversify their crops. So you never know where progress lies. You can do everything right and something terrible goes wrong. You can do everything wrong and maybe something good will come out of that. So that's another one of our conundrums or riddles. Everything we do affects the future, but we can never be certain whether that's going to be long-term positive or negative. Okay, the third, no matter which way they go, positive or negative, and this I'm paraphrasing McLuhan and whoever else said this, but we shape the world and then the world shapes us. So there's still a mutually entailing kind of relationship between the world that exists, the possibilities that exist, and the things that we can make, the possibilities, the adjacencies that come after that. So you all, designers, design thinkers, you're injecting mutations into the world. You're creating new possibilities based on possibilities and positions that you are now. So everything that happens now creates a world, and everything that didn't happen is extinct now. So we're always moving toward this sort of emergent kinds of space of possibility. And your job is to inject new things into that and then follow along. So that's not the work. That's kind of the takeaway from this whole thing. So three riddles, you might call it. The future doesn't exist, but everything we do affects the future. Everything we do affects the future, but we don't know whether it's going to ultimately have a positive or negative impact. And no matter what impact it has, when we shape the world shapes us, and there's a cycle and a relationship there. Okay, so sort of takeaways from this. Design injects into the future, creates new possibilities, but it's not the work. Design itself is not the work. Nurturing preferred futures out of the space of possibilities that are open, to me, is the work. And so that means sticking with it, staying with a design, not just throwing it out there, move fast and break things. Yeah, I guess that happens. But your job is to stick with it and nurture the possibility spaces and the openings that you've created to help steer toward better futures. So again, we don't know whether it's ultimately going to be that, but we can give it a fighting chance. And so the creation of new things and the nurturing is just as important part of design and part of futures work. Nurture the future, we might say. So in conclusion, I hope the vibe will come out in this last bit here, but nothing you do matters, and everything matters at the same time. And then do your best, but don't expect that your best is going to lead necessarily to better outcomes. So we're all, so we're all like really excited now, right? But that is the sort of, I mean, it's an irreducible dilemma for us. We have to do our best. We have to try. We have to look for those possibilities. So do it, stick with it, keep with the work, see things till their end, and hopefully we'll end up someplace, somewhere better together. Thank you.
Jake, thank you. Don't you feel like we have to have a discussion group now after that? I mean, I feel like we just can't walk up, like we have to do that. But thank you, everybody. Please enjoy, look at the student work, go have a drink, and thank you so much for coming to the campus and to support our students. We appreciate it. And thank you, Nelda.